So maybe even more importantly, even than now, the guy who has the keys is a very important person. I mean, if you think about maybe in a modern corporation or business or whatever, you've got a front desk person who kind of lets people in and out of the building. They call upstairs and say if this person actually really has an appointment or whatever. But in ancient Israel and in ancient cultures, whoever has the keys holds a tremendous amount of power. There's no way to cell phone reach the corporate owner of whatever back in the day. And so whoever has keys is the person who lets people in or out. And so in the first reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah, we hear about Shebna, who has not been a very good keeper of the keys. And so this authority is going to be given to Eliakim. And again, this is the basically minister of the royal palace. And so he's the guy who really gets to determine, do you get to see the king or not? And just think about this reading again. I will place the keys of the house of David on Eliakim's shoulder. What he opens, no one shall shut. When he shuts, no one shall open. He's given this great authority to open and to close. And so the Catholic Church has taken that very much to mean the same thing for Peter. Whenever Jesus is talking to Peter in this gospel reading we had, it's not some small thing to just say, yeah, I'll give you keys. You're going to be the guy who opens or closes doors. You're going to be the one to bind and to loose. And this is one of those powers that the church has interpreted as especially the gift of the sacrament of confession. Because a priest technically, and very really does have the power to say whether you're forgiven or not. But the good news is it's very easy to be forgiven. Our God is very generous and loving. These keys are really important. And I think one of the reasons they're so important is because it's so easy for us to just assume that we're not welcome. I think that's more of a tendency that we deal with right now. I know back in my day, whenever I was growing up, my friends' houses were pretty much open doors. You'd basically just kind of walk in and make yourself at home. And maybe it is like that with some of you and your friends and family, but it seems to me that as the world has gone on a little bit, doors are a little bit more closed and things are a little bit more private. And it's really hard to kind of break into new friendships and to new circles. And the good news about the church is that Christ has given a certain authority to Peter. And that authority has been passed down through the generations, down to our present Pope, Pope Francis, who I think very much wants to keep opening the doors wider and wider to all who might grace the doorway. That it's very easy to be a part of this global fellowship that we call the Catholic Church. It's an intimidating thing to sometimes knock on a door and to think, maybe it won't be open for me. Maybe I'll be rejected and say, go away, you're not welcome here. And so that's where we come in, church. We have been given a certain authority as well. Maybe not quite the same level of binding and loosing like Peter was, but we can be that force to say, you are welcome here. I've been given a certain key to this place, to the church, and I want you to be a part of this with me. I'll even walk in the door with you, because I want you to know that there is a God who wants you to be part of his family.